All right, what's happening, y'all? What's going on? Y'all know who it is, Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance. Know it's been a while since I've done any content. I think this time has just given me a lot of time to think about where I want to go with the content for TeamAlliance, just as we progress into the future. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to start 2 video series. One is going to be personal finance. So I'm going to do a personal finance video series. And I think that this video may be the first one in that series. And I'm also going to be doing a wealth creation video series. Those of you who've been following TeamAlliance for any length of time, you know that what I primarily focus on is professional trading. In particular, the instrument that I like to use is what's called binary options. And I use that on 2 platforms. One platform is called Nadex, and one platform is called QUOTEX. And these are very powerful trading platforms that really allow you to take a very small amount of starting capital and utilize your skill in the market to create and to generate cash flow. So this all ties into personal finance and into wealth creation, which is what I want to go into a lot deeper. I'm older now. I just turned 46 on the 18th, and we're in May, by the way. So as I'm getting older, I'm just thinking more along the lines of being here for the long term. A lot of people are very short term oriented as far as their thinking goes. They're thinking about today, thinking about right now. Personal finance has everything to do with right now. This is one of the reasons why I want to go in more depth into personal finance, because you need to have awareness in your everyday spending and in your everyday living to be able to make the best of your everyday. Like, you got to make every day count. You can't think about or try to plan for 5 years from now if you're not doing things today that are building towards where you want to be 5 years from now. So you can't continue to duplicate the same behavior that you're demonstrating now if you want 5 years from now to look different than now does. Because every day that you continue to duplicate the same thing over and over again, that's not building towards where you want to end up 5 years from now, is actually setting you back, because you're losing the time that you had to use towards the 5 years that's coming, if that makes sense. So I want to go into this area, personal finance. So let me start with this. We start with one of the rules that I like to use. When you're budgeting, when you're creating a budget for yourself, right? What's the purpose of a budget? The purpose of a budget is to ensure that you account for money that comes in and for money that's leaving, or money that's going out to pay for something. The reason that people break budgets all the time is because they don't hold themselves accountable for the budget. And it's very easy to break the budget because you'll you know, justify breaking the budget with, oh, well, something came up, so I couldn't do that, or I couldn't pay for that this month because this came up. And yes, things come up all the time, but when you create the budget, you have to commit to the budget in order to realize the results of where the budget is going to bring you to. So you can't say, oh, well, you know, this, I'm going to start next month. Okay. If you continue to do that, you'll keep doing it. See, the one thing about our behavior as human beings is whatever we're doing, we're likely to keep doing. So if you want to stop experiencing the same results, you have to stop doing the same bullshit. And that's just what it is. So let me give you an example of, and let me turn this thing on. I'm going to give you an example of something that I do. One of the things that I do is once all bills are paid and whatever you have left over is there, that's your disposable income. This is how it's broken down just in the finance world, right? Your disposable income is the money you have left over after you pay your bills. So you have your income, you have your bills. The money that you have left over is your disposable income. That's where you can now put money into savings, or you can use it to invest, or you can just spend it. You can spend it. What do most people do? They spend it. And what happens is when you start to spend, you inevitably will begin to spend frivolously. So you'll start to spend money on things that you didn't plan on spending money on. And what that does is it creates a behavior. So now that's your behavior. That's what you do. You spend money on things that have nothing to do with what your plan is and where you want to end up being. And this now becomes your new behavior. The main thing that I like to do is this. Let's say that I am going to be, or let's say that I like to spend my money on specific things. For some of you, it might be beer. It might be cigarettes. You know, whatever your vice might be. Maybe you like to go and play the slots at the casino. You know, like whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. But whatever that thing is that you like to spend money on, right? You use the 50-50 rule. And you have to force yourself to do this, because if you don't, you'll continue the behavior that you currently have, which is leaving you not where you want to end up at, because you're not making any progress towards arriving where you want to go. The 50-50 rule is very simple. Whatever amount of money that you spend on whatever your thing is, you cut it in half. Half of it. So if you spending $50 a week on cigarettes, and some of y'all do, you got to cut your smoking in half. Only spend $25 a week on cigarettes. If you like to drink beer, same shit. You spending $60, $70 a week on beer, cut it in half. This is the easiest way for you to find money that you can use for wealth creation. See, we're going to get into that also. That's the next video series. So I'm going to be kind of going back and forth between the two series because they're really intertwined. And at first I was thinking about making them one complete series. Personal finance and wealth creation. But I think I need to separate them. So anyway, however I end up doing it, I'm going to figure it out. This is the only way, without you earning more money, to find money to begin building or creating wealth for yourself. Okay? The reason I want to separate wealth creation is because I want to, and wealth creation, I'm going to go specifically into not only how to do it, but what is going to do it. There's a specific way in today's time for you to build wealth for the future. And it ain't the stock market. It ain't real estate. So I'll let you kind of figure out what it is, just from you knowing my content and knowing what I like to talk about and what I like to focus my attention on in these videos. So anyway, the 50-50 rule is simple and it's very powerful. And really what I call it is half and half. You call it half and half, you'll remember it easier. In personal finance, you do half and half. Whatever it is that you like to spend your money on, half of whatever that is. Half of whatever you want to do, the other half goes into wealth creation, period. Half and half. And if you stick to this, you'll always have continuous resources building towards you creating wealth. Now, of course, you want to know, well, man, where do I put it? That's where the wealth creation is going to come in. So that's going to be the next video series. So this is going to be the first episode of this video series for personal finance. As more ideas and more of my thought process comes into fruition and I'm able to communicate it more effectively, I'll do more videos. But this is the first episode of this video series, personal finance. So yes, stay tuned for more. There's more to come. I'm thinking I might do the wealth creation content, the first one now, maybe, while it's fresh in my head. I'm gonna see. I don't know. You'll know if you see me in the same outfit on. If I got the same outfit on for the first wealth creation video, then I did it. I did it today. I'ma holler at you. Y'all know what it is. Mark for the TeamAlliance. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Episode 1, personal finance. I'm out. Peace.